Welcome.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Simsick.
And I'm Krista Williams.
Welcome to the New Paradigm Digital Workshop Series by Almost 30. Congrats. Investing in yourself is a huge deal.
Yeah, and we want you to get the most out of your experience. So we have a few guidelines that we suggest so that you really get the value for your money. One of them is telling all of your roommates, family members, partners, pets that you're going to be investing the next few hours within this workshop. We want you to not be distracted. We want you to not be interrupted. So really make sure that you're creating the container and intention that this is your time. We also want you to be comfortable. We are huge fans of being comfortable and comfortable clothes all day. So nothing should be different for us, but we want you guys to be seated in a blanket with a sweatshirt on, however you're going to feel most comfortable. Have some water next to you, have a journal so you can write down everything that's important that you're going to get from this time. Also, please note that we did do this live, so there's conversations about the chat, the people within the workshop. So those things aren't going to relate to the workshop experience that you're having, but this is minimal, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, and I would say after this workshop too, give yourself time to integrate. Don't rush into anything right away. Give yourself time to really absorb what you heard, what came up for you, maybe journal, and just give yourself time to rest. But we really hope you enjoyed this workshop, and if you do, we have more where that came from. So you can visit shopalmost30.com for more New Paradigm Digital Workshop Series offerings.
Enjoy.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Welcome, everyone. Happy Saturday.
Hello, hello. You guys are such angels. Perfectly on time. We appreciate that so much. I know we'll have probably 10 or so more of you trickling in this morning, and I'm so looking forward to being with you. If you don't know, my name is Krista Williams, and this is Lindsay Simsick, and we are the founders and co-hosts of Almost 30 Podcasts, which we started during our Saturn return, which felt like a very crazy time. And basically we wanted to connect in community to help expand ourselves and help along our evolution. So when things started to go down with the current climate and what is going on today, we wanted to find a way to best serve our community to help you guys along your process during this time. We wanted to just provide you the tools, resources, insights through the New Paradigm Digital Workshop Series to be your best self, your most authentic self, to feel good, to feel grounded, to be better when we get out of this and as we ascend. And that was the intention behind the New Paradigm Digital Workshop Series. This is the first kicking off our New Paradigm Digital Workshop Series with the amazing Natalia Benson, who we will introduce very shortly. But I would love for you all in the chat to tell us your name, tell us where you're coming in from, and your intention for the day. I think it's so important. And, even before when we got on the screen with you guys, just to get grounded in what our intention is. It will help you get the most out of your time. It will help you help us create the container for today. And it really is just great to see everyone's beautiful intentions written out in the chat. So in the chat, where you're from, what your name is, and what your intention is for today, whether that's to learn how to manifest abundance, whether that's to learn more about your natal chart, whether that's to deep dive into astrology, to ask Natalia a question, let us know.
Awesome. And as you're sharing, I just want to go over a little business just so we all feel really good about what's going to happen today. So this workshop will last about 2.5 hours. And from our experience, the time really does fly. We have one built-in break, 5-minute break, about 45 minutes in, where you'll be able to get water and go to the bathroom and all of that stuff. But of course, you're always welcome to do that. We just wanted to designate a break for that. But we recommend that you're in a quiet, comfortable place. It's really important for this type of work that you don't have distractions. So we always recommend putting your phone on airplane mode. And if you are with people, just letting them know that you're going to be kind of, off the grid for a couple hours doing some work. And then make sure you have like a pen and paper, anything to record notes, thoughts, reflections is really, really helpful. There's going to be a lot of information during this workshop, very relatable and easy to understand information, but a lot. So you just want to make sure you write down any thoughts and any questions. So I'll get to that in a moment, but you just want to have that writing utensil ready. And Natalia will probably touch on this too, but we just want you to be gentle with yourself today. You know, sometimes when we go into workshops, there's a lot coming at us, but there's always just this intention that if we can walk away with a few pieces of really meaningful information or realizations, that it was really successful. So be gentle with yourself, have fun, and we're going to connect a lot in the chat. I love everyone sharing. We'll read some of these in a moment. So let's get specific about the chat and the Q&A features. So the chat today will be for connecting with one another. You know, if Natalia says something and you're like, oh my gosh, yes, I totally relate, definitely feel free to share it in the chat, because other people I'm sure will chime in and say, oh my God, me too. So please use it to connect with one another. And Natalia will be asking you questions at random, and you can use the chat to answer her questions. When it comes to your own questions, put those in the Q&A, which we will answer at the end. So if your question isn't in the Q&A, it won't get answered. We just want to keep things really organized. And again, those questions will be answered in the last 40 minutes. So I think that's it. And if you have to private message us, the host, please feel free. If you're having technical difficulties, just make sure to specify that you're sending the message just to the host. Okay, let's go through and see where people are from. We have San Diego, we have Astoria, New York, we have Connecticut, New Jersey, Maryland. So cool. Let's see some of the intentions. Texas. Intention is to learn more about my natal chart.
Saturn return, welcome.
Curious about entering that Saturn return. Yeah, honing in on your career path. Trying to do a deep dive into the workplace. Awesome. And manifest abundance.
There we go.
Yep. And see what my purpose can be after this. Awesome. Guidance into finding my purpose and navigating this transition. Wonderful.
That manifestation.
Jupiter, Florida. What's up? Great.
Amazing.
Vancouver, Indiana. Great. SF. Wonderful.
Love it. Should we take a quick breath before we bring on our queen?
Ground down, y'all.
Really looking forward to this. Natalia has put so much work into it. She is one of our favorite people. When we decided that we wanted to do this, to up level during this time, she was the first person we thought of. And she is just a wealth of resource. She's a wealth of kindness. She's a wealth of inspiration. And this is going to be so incredible for you guys and for us too, very selfishly. I'm really looking forward to learning more about my natal chart. I'm really looking forward to understanding more about her manifestation practices. And, you know, she's been a spiritual advisor, a modern mystic, an astrologer, and a women's empowerment coach for a few years now. She has her own app. She wrote a book. She is coming out with courses all the time. So she has basically all the insight that we're going to need today. And it is going to be great to learn from her. I'm excited to see everything that she has for us. And I'd love to introduce our wonderful Natalia Benson.
Hi guys.
Hey,
hi my darlings.
Hello.
Thank you so much. You made me a little bit emotional. I was like, okay, no crying at the beginning of the workshop. We'll save that for later. But thank you so much, my darlings. I love you so much. Thank you.
We're so excited to have you. I'm going to launch a little poll. Kristen and I love polls.
We love polls.
I love a poll. I love a good poll.
Talk poll to me.
So we just want to know kind of where you are coming into this workshop. You know, are you new to astrology? Do you know the basics and really want to go deeper? Or are you seasoned and could basically give us a reading today? Just let us know. We'll be launching polls throughout. So your participation is always optional, but we love it. It's just kind of cool to see what
Yes.
we're working with. But Natalia, I just have to say that, I just find that your work is so unique in really bridging the gap between that mystic world and the modern world, and making this important information, this important tool so accessible and fun.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
I've learned so much about myself. We've learned so much about each other and our business through your work. So I'm just really excited for people to go deeper and apply it to their life, their career, their money, their purpose, and all the things. So just as a reminder, Natalia will be on here, video on. We will turn our video off and be participating on our end. Again, use the chat to respond to Natalia and to connect with one another. Reserve your questions for Q&A. And we will pop back in just before the break. And I think that's it. So go for it,
Awesome.
Mama.
Thank you guys so much. And hello to everyone here. Good morning. Love this poll. So we basically about 74% of us are right there in the middle. I know the basics, excited to go deeper. We've got a couple newbies here and then a couple seasoned astrologers. I love it. Thank you guys so much. Okay, so we are going to dive right in. I have so much incredible information for you guys. And just to reiterate with what the beautiful Krista and Lynn said, please be gentle with yourself, especially in this first section as we go into the natal chart demonstration. And I talk to you guys about some of the placements for empowerment, money. I'm like, what are the placements we're doing today? We're doing empowerment, money, and life purpose, three of my favorite things to talk about. But just be gentle, have fun, no matter, I've been studying astrology for over 10 years now, a decade, and I still have a beginner's mind, and I approach astrology with lightness and fun and a willingness to very, very simply learn. So I want you to have that same energy in your heart. If you get tripped up or you're wondering about something, please just know we are not going to leave you behind. You are going to walk out, and I love that I'm starting this at 11:11. That's so awesome. But you are going to move out of this workshop today feeling clear, excited, and really armed with the tools to do your own study and research. So, all right, you guys ready? I'm not able to see you with your beautiful faces, but I like to get very interactive. So this is my sparkle fingers. So just go ahead and sparkle. I'll just feel your sparkles from here. All right, let's go right into it. I'm going to go ahead and keep there we go. All right. Okay. I don't know why that's not going. Hold on. There we go. Let me just keep this. Let me do a little housekeeping really quickly, just so I make sure if there's anything technical or you guys are having fun. All right, perfect. Lauren is ready. That's what I like to hear. Thank you. Okay, so first and foremost, how can we utilize astrology? So the astrology that I teach is something that I like to call astrology empowerment. And we really focus on the natal chart as the unfolding of our own self-awareness. So I do ask whether you are totally privy to the concept of reincarnation or it's a completely new concept for you. I do ask that just for today, if you're willing to just accept reincarnation as a really fundamental part of astrology. So the idea is that the natal chart, which is what we're going to be focused on today, is your soul's blueprint. So just like there is a blueprint for a house, you don't just go to a plot of land and bring your tools and your team and say, all right, just erect something, figure something out. No, you come there, you have a plan, you have a blueprint. Well, guess what? Your soul does the same thing before you get here. Your soul's trajectory is for you to learn. It's for you to grow at every incarnation, every lifetime. And let me just tell you this, my loves, if you did not have a purpose for being here, if you did not have an intention and a deeper reason for being on this earth, you simply wouldn't be here. And you certainly wouldn't be spending your Saturday morning with me and the almost 30 queens. So please know that as you look at your natal chart and we look at these placements, that this is your soul communicating to you. And I believe that our natal chart, and as I go between natal chart, natal wheel, all the things, it's all talking about the same thing, the natal chart. Just know that if you're willing, this can grant you such powerful information of your soul's intention before you got here. And you can utilize this as you begin to pursue your soul's calling and perhaps uncover your reason for incarnating. It's my favorite subject. I got my first natal chart reading when I was 22, and I am a living, breathing manifestation of my natal chart. And not because it told me what to do, but because what you'll find, the placements and everything that you discover, it just makes a lot of sense. It feels very true. So a couple things that I'd like you to keep in mind in terms of utilizing the natal chart and astrology as a source of empowerment. So there's these 3 basic tenets down here. So number 1, the first tenet is to know thyself. The second tenet is to accept thyself. And the third tenet is to love thyself. So know thyself, accept thyself, love thyself. These are the deeper tenets of astrology empowerment. When you do this, my loves, you are unstoppable no matter what you decide to do in this lifetime, whether you want to be a Fortune 500 CEO or have your own business or work for a cause or a purpose that you love, someone's dream that you're helping them to build, whether you're a mother, whether you are a mother and you do all of those things. When you have a powerful understanding of your natal chart and you use these 3 tenets of astrology empowerment, you are unstoppable. Okay. Yes. Energy fingers. Okay. So here's where we get a little bit technical. And these are kind of the basic tenets. I'm just going to move this out of my way for a moment. So here we go. Here is the basics of the natal chart. Now, this natal chart is a very basic natal chart. So what I would ask you, darlings, is to please just stick with me. And this will be kind of one of the most foundational parts of our workshop today. So first and foremost, I'm going to walk you through how to look at a natal chart, okay? And so this is my very rudimentary, I had a very fun time creating this for you. So this is a very rudimentary representation of the natal chart. So first and foremost, number 1, zodiac signs are always on the outside of the wheel. So you can see them here in purple. Now this is a fake natal chart that I created for the sake of this demonstration. So don't take this too literally, okay? I just want to point out 3 extremely important key things for you here. So first and foremost, the zodiac signs are always on the outside of the wheel, no matter what you're looking at, and they always change, okay? So literally, I want you to write down natal chart, zodiac signs, they change. Just to remind yourself, they are not fixed. They are not a fixed part of the chart. They move. Think about a wheel on your car. The center part of the wheel stays solid. There's a fixed part of the wheel, and then there's the part that moves around. So the part that moves around on the natal chart is the zodiac signs, okay? So just keep that in mind. Now, secondly, you can see I love colors. My mom said when I was a kid, I used to make these crazy colorful drawings. So I love to use color to demonstrate things. So the houses, you can see I circled these in pink. Now, these are always on the inside of the wheel and they are fixed. They are the part of the zodiac wheel. The zodiac wheel or the natal chart or whatever that are always fixed, okay? So you will see most of you, I'm assuming you pulled up your natal chart according to my instructions from astro.com. Just know these inside numbers will always stay the same. These zodiac signs will change, and I'll explain why they change in just a second. Okay, so just to keep in mind, number 1, zodiac signs, they change. Number 2, houses, they are fixed. Okay, now let's take a look at the planets. So the planets, they move around and they look unique and random in the chart. Why do you think that is, my darlings? Because the planets are moving. This natal chart, like let's say this is my natal chart. This natal chart is a snapshot of exactly what was going on in the heavens the moment I was born. The natal chart that you are looking at is a snapshot of exactly what was going on, exactly what was going on in the planets and in the heavens the moment that you were born. Okay, so that's literally what we are looking at. We are looking at a cosmic portrait at a moment in time, and that's why the time is so deeply important in the drafting of the natal chart. Okay, so something I want to keep in mind, and then I'll go check the chat box for a minute and just make sure everybody's doing good. So just please note, as we move through, you will always research. As you are researching, you will always take into account these three things: your zodiac sign, the planet, the houses, or what, it doesn't matter the order, but you're always going to take into accountability these things. And I would suggest, my loves, as we're going on, please grab your phone and take a photo of these slides. So if you want to go back as I'm explaining things, you literally have an easy reference. Okay, so this is the basic natal chart, and I'm going to walk you through a couple of different natal charts so that you can just see how they do look unique and they do change. And I'm going to tell you why they change in just a second. How is everybody doing? You guys doing good? Yes. Yes, Melina, you absolutely will. You guys doing good? Awesome. Beautiful. Looking good over here. Thank you so much. All right, I love it. Thank you, darlings. And just remember, we're gonna have a very thorough Q&A, so just hang on to those for the end. All right, let's move forward and take a look at a couple different natal charts. So just to again illustrate this, because it's really important, have a look at your natal chart. The zodiac signs are always on the outside and they change. The houses are always on the inside. They are fixed. Okay, so when you look at a natal chart, hold your chart right in front of you. When you look at the left side of the chart, so right here, this thick line between the 12th house and the first house, you will always see the 12th and the first on the left side of the chart. Okay, that's the fixed nature of the houses. That's the fixed nature of the center of the wheel. Okay, so just trust that, tried and true. That's always what's going on. Let me just point out a couple of things here. So this is what was happening in the sky on April 17th, 1987 at 1:09 in the morning in Phoenix, Arizona. This is what was going on. So you can see the planets. I'm sure it looks very different from your chart unless you're born at the same moment as me. Okay, so there we go. That's one rendition of the planets. This is Beyonce's chart. I love her. Power Virgo, one of my favorite queens. So once again, we have zodiac signs on the outside. They are unique. They change. Then we've got the fixed nature of the houses. So you can see from my chart to Beyonce's chart, there's a big difference, right? There's major changes going on. The planets were in different spaces, okay? And again, we're picking up the three things. We've got the zodiac signs on the outside, the planets, and the houses, okay? So you guys are seeing those three important parts. Yes, I love that. You guys are seeing the three important parts of the natal chart. All right, so just a little fun tidbit of information for you guys. So this is, I don't know if anybody, this happened the last time I taught with Almost 30. Some people picked up their chart from Cafe Astrology, and you can see it looks very different, but I just want to outline because I want you guys to be seasoned professionals and not feel overwhelmed if you see a chart that looks different. So once again, it's the same system. We've got the signs on the outside of the chart. We've got the houses in the middle. They use Roman numerals. And then we've got the planets cruising around. And just to note, this is very cool. So you guys are most likely looking at natal charts based on the day that you were born, right? And this actually is a business. I like to do this often for businesses and for many of my coaching clients for the entity of their business. So this is almost 30's business natal chart, or just like the birthing of almost 30. So this is what was going on in the planets the moment that Lindsay, let's put those together. I'm going to call you guys that now, actually. Lindsay and Krista brought almost 30 into the world, birthed something into the world, because that's what our purpose, our businesses, all the things that we do, they're aspects of us. It's like we birth something. So if you guys would like, you are also welcome to draft charts the same that you did with your natal chart. You can do it for a business or an event or anything of that nature. So just so you guys know, a fun little bit of information. Okay, how's it going? You guys doing good? All right, we're gonna move on. We've got so much fun stuff to go through. So I would like you to please take a photo of this very important slide. I'm sure many of you are somewhat familiar with the symbols, but what I'd like you to do here is just take a photo so that you can place what signs are going where, because I'm going to teach you a very cool system for picking out these specific placements in your chart. So go ahead and take a photo of that. All right. I'll give you one more moment to do that. I'm sure many of you know the symbols already, but just in case. Nice. Thank you, Madeline. I love that. All right, let's go on to the planets. Now, here's the thing. In today's workshop, we're not going into every single planet, but I don't want you looking at your natal chart being like, what the heck is all this stuff? There is so much information going on in here, because we're really only going to be picking out a couple specifics to look at these 3 really powerful placements in our natal chart. But go ahead, take a photo of the planets, just because this will help you if you would like to deep dive into your natal chart. And in addition, it's going to help you with the placements that we are going to go ahead and walk through together. All right, so you guys take the picture. We good? Ready to go? Let me know in the chat. Heck yeah. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Are you a bunch of Aries? No. What kind of signs do we have here? 0 Aries. I'm on my own. All right. So we've got Taurus, Gemini. Oh my God. We got a lot of Virgos. Nice. Quite a few Capricorns, Aquarius. Nice. You know that Aquarius rules the sign of astrology. So we got all the Aquarians here ready to study. Some Pisces. I love it. That's awesome. I love it. Yes, everybody who is somewhat interested in the mystical, they are here to study. I love it. That's so cool. Okay, so we've got the signs and the planets. Because my darlings, the reason why these are so important is because what I'm going to walk you through in just a moment. As we look through each chart, we want to be able to decipher those 3 things as we begin to research, right? We want to be able to decipher the sign, the planet, and the house. So I want you guys to know the symbols, which are here. Symbol 1, the signs, and then symbol 2, the planets, so that you know, as we're looking through these placements, you can do your research. All right, so this is going to be super fun. All right, so now I'm going to take you through the specific placements. So again, I can also provide this keynote to the Almost 30 team, so you guys have this to download and you have it to keep as a reference. But in the meantime, we do suggest notes, and then again, you can take a photo if you'd like. So let's first talk about the placement for money and how to indicate money in the chart. Now, here's the thing that I want to just iterate before we go deeper into this. If you check your 2nd house and there's nothing in it, I don't want you to have a meltdown. It doesn't mean money's not a part of the equation for you. No, here's something I want you to remember, and I'm going to really really, really listen to me here. There is no such thing as an empty house in astrology. Okay. I'm going to walk you through what that is and what that means. So if you see the second house empty when you're looking at your chart, it doesn't mean it is not empty. What you are going to do is you're going to look at the sign that traverses the second house. And I will walk you through this in just a second. But in the meantime, what I would like you to do is go ahead and grab your natal charts. All right. Grab your pen. And you are going to search for the Venus symbol on your chart, and you are going to circle it. So you're going to circle the Venus symbol, you're going to circle the sign that it's in, and you're going to circle the house that it's in, okay? So very similar to what I walked you through at the beginning, all right? So you're going to circle the Venus symbol, you're going to go to, let me just give you an example. So you're going to find the Venus symbol, circle it, you're going to circle the sign that it's in and the house that it's in, okay? And then what I'd like you to do is right by the Venus symbol, just write a little dollar sign, okay? That just is indicating, okay, this is my money placement, all right? And then secondly, I could probably not scroll, but I think it looks kind of pretty. It looks like a wave or something. All right, and then secondly, for the money placement, I want you now to search for, this is like a fun, I don't know, like a Easter egg hunt or something. So now we're gonna look for the second house. Okay, so you're gonna look for the second house. Remember, it's always at the inside of the wheel. So let me give an example. So second house, I indicate it, okay? And then I'm gonna look for the sign, and I can also write down planets because you guys, I'm going to teach you a system for studying so you can go deeper on if there's other planets or placements in there. But in the meantime, do not worry about it. Literally find the circle, the second house, circle it, and then circle the planets that are on the periphery of the second. So as you can see for Queen Bey, in her money house, she has a little bit of Scorpio and a little bit of, actually a lot of bit of Sagittarius, okay? So go ahead and look for yours. And that's going to be the first indication of those placements for you. If they are split between two signs like I just demonstrated, all good. Just go ahead and write them down, and then you're going to do a deeper dive. Yes, Katie, where's Waldo? Exactly. I was thinking, I was like, what's something where you're searching for stuff? Exactly. Nice. Okay, perfect. How are you guys feeling with this first one? Give me a thumbs up. I wish we could send emojis. Okay, so this is your money placement, and we're going to go deeper on all of this, but what I want to do is walk you through the 3 placements, and then we're going to move on, okay? I'm going to show you how to study. So there is your money placement in your unique chart. All right, let's take a look at our placement for purpose. And let me explain why I chose Jupiter and Mars, and I'll go back and explain Venus in just a second. So for purpose, I always choose Jupiter because the cool thing about Jupiter is Jupiter, wherever Jupiter is in your natal chart, it literally is where, when you show up in the energy of the sign and the house, that's where you expand. And when you show up in those energies, the universe is like, fuck yes, I'm going to show up for her. She's showing up for herself. I'm going to show up for her, because your Jupiter is where you get bigger. It's where you expand beyond your comfort zone. It's where you teach. It's where you do something, because every form of purpose and work that we do, it all is a form of expanding, going beyond ourselves, beyond our mind, and helping people in some way, no matter what. So, and then Mars, just a quick note about Mars. The reason I chose Mars for purpose is because, my loves, if you are ever feeling stuck, if you're ever feeling like, what am I doing here? Or I feel stagnant or whatever, guess what? All you got to do is tap into your Mars placement, okay? It's so freaking powerful. So Jupiter is like our good luck, good fortune, benevolent kind of expanding energy. And then Mars is our action, get shit done energy, okay? And let me just backtrack for a second and go back to Venus. So Venus she rules money, she rules love, she rules magnetism. Money, and we're going to talk about money a bit today, is about magnetism. It's about receptivity and really bringing out like our heart. That's, I'm very obsessed with the concept of money being a spiritual essence and a spiritual expression, and that's the way that I teach it. And so with Venus, we have this energy of magnetism, and she's your creative power. She's your power as a woman as well, as a feminine essence. All right. Second house rules money. It rules productivity. That's why I chose it for money. So whatever you see with your Venus placement as well as your second house, this indicates for you the way that you create money, the way that you magnetize money, the way you can tap into your energy and call in more money, etc. This is how you start to utilize the information of astrology as just really like in depth and really powerful and instantly usable. I'm an Aries and with a lot of Capricorn, so I'm like, I want things to be tangible and usable right away. Now, let's go ahead. We're going to do the same thing that we did with the money placement. I want you to go to your purpose placements now. All right. You are going to first, we'll get to the sixth house in just a second, but I want you to go ahead and locate Jupiter, circle Jupiter, sign house. All right. If you are able, and I deeply apologize, I didn't indicate this to Almost 30 team. If you're able to use a different color, that's helpful, only because it's going to be easier for you. But if not, don't worry about it. Once you find your Jupiter placement, I just want you to write purpose or like a PR or whatever will help you remember that that's your purpose placement. Okay. Then you're going to go ahead and do the same thing with Mars. So grab your natal chart, locate Mars, sign and house. All right. And then a little perp or whatever you want to write there. Okay. So there's our purpose placement. Lastly, just to talk about the sixth house as our third little essence, we'll say, of the purpose placements. So the sixth house is all about our daily work, but it's also purpose expressed through work, service. So you can literally look at your sixth house. If you're ever like, what am I supposed to do? Where am I going in this lifetime? How should I spend my day to day to unfold like the bigger me or the bigger expression of me being here? The sixth house, because the sixth house is about serving others, and it's also what you do on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so once again, let's go back up here. Let's go to my chart. So let's take a look. Just an example, sixth house. Again, my sixth house is empty. So I'm just going to note Cancer, and I'm going to explore Cancer and what Cancer means with the sixth house. All right. Then I'm also, remember our other two placements, Jupiter. So I'm going to circle it, circle the sign and the house. Mars, circle it, circle the sign and the house. All right. And then there are our purpose placements. So that's going to give you hours of fun research to do. All right, how are we doing? Everybody find their purpose placement? You guys give me a quick thumbs up. And then we're going to go to our empowerment placements. We're doing good on time. Awesome. You guys are doing incredible. Good job. Nice. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So our last placement for empowerment. One of my favorite things, my favorite subject matters. So to look for spaces of our chart that are for empowerment, I love to look at the sun, where the sun is placed. You guys all know your sun sign. You just did it in the poll. So I like to take a look at where my sun is placed, and then also the first house. So the sun in astrology, this is your focus. This is where you are meant to shine. Like, think about the sun. Like, the sun is literally the life-giving force. And whenever you focus on solar energy in your chart, this is where you shine, where you like bring like information. And that's actually a little bit more Jupiter, but where you just shine light in your life, where you are meant to shine. And if you're ever feeling like dull, or like you're just like, I'm not good enough, or what the heck ever. We all have our crazy stories that we're healing and working through, right, while we're here on this planet. And so you can literally look at your sun sign. If you are a sun in Aries, well, we don't have any sun in Aries in here. If you are a sun in Aquarius, look at the power, the strengths of being an Aquarius. And then you go deeper and you look at the house, which is how you are meant to express that sun, how you're meant to express that light, express that power, shine a light for yourself and others. Okay, so that's your sun placement. The first house, I look at this house, if you are looking to empower yourself, I look at the first house as the house of the individual. So the focus on you. The sun is a very similar definition. But the first house, you can take a look. Maybe there's planets in there, maybe it's empty, whatever's going on. What you want to do with the first, this will indicate to you where you are meant to innovate, how you lead, how you step into like just being yourself. Okay. The sun and the first house are about you being yourself. And remember what I talked about, those 3 basic tenets of astrology empowerment: know thyself, accept thyself, love thyself. That is, you are unstoppable. And so when you look at these empowerment facets, the sun in the first house, this is how you can unfold and be like, okay, this is where I shine. If I'm ever feeling like, oh, I'm not enough, or I don't know what I'm doing, or I want to shine a light in my life and in the lives of others, let me just focus on this. And by the way, you are naturally already expressing these placements. You just may be doing so half-mast or not at your full potential. So, or maybe you're doing them at your full potential, but this is a very cool roadmap where you can see, that's how I do it. Okay, I love it. Now, you guys doing great? You're doing awesome. Okay, so how to study. And I would ask you guys, just for personal questions, not in the chat, please, go ahead and throw those in the Q&A, and we will definitely get to those when we get to the end of the workshop. So how to study. This is super, super powerful stuff. So I gave you the 3 placements. This is how you're going to study your chart. Now, first, you can literally write purpose placement, okay? And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna write down 2 different things if you have a planet in that placement, all right? So for the purpose placement, you are gonna go and locate your sun, right? And what are we gonna do? We're gonna write out the things that we discovered. So if our sun is placed in the 6th house in Aquarius, I want you to write that down. But this is where I want you to really stay with me. I don't want this to be confusing. We're going to just affirm that we totally got it, but just stick with me for a second. Really, really, really pay attention here. So first off, when I'm taking to the internet and I'm studying my placements, I want to break up the placements. Okay. So first, I want to study sun in the 6th house natal chart. Okay. If you write sun in the 6th house natal chart as you are researching your placements, you're going to get interpretations of the natal chart placement. Does that make sense? I always want you guys to write natal chart as you are researching and studying and uncovering your placements. Okay. Then, as a part of the exact same placement, we want to now study what Aquarius in the 6th house means. Okay. So we're looking at 6th house Aquarius, and that's going to be 1 full placement. All right. I'm going to explain it a couple more times with the different placements. So just stick with me. I'm sure you guys get it. I just want to make sure. Let's look at our money placement. So we're going to locate Venus in our chart, right? We're going to go and say, okay, cool. Venus is in the 9th house in Taurus. Well, when I go to research, I want to break these up. I want to look at Venus, 9th house natal chart. And that's going to give me the interpretation of what Venus does when she's in the 9th house. Okay. Then I want to take a look at Taurus, 9th house natal chart. How does Taurus behave when it's interacting with the 9th house? Okay, it's very fascinating, and this is how you guys can get deeper on these placements. Now, lastly, let's take a look at a first house. I'm sorry, take a look at an example of a placement with no planet. And remember what I said, there are no empty houses, okay? You can always just go take a look at the zodiac sign and that'll give you tons of information. So let's take a look. Our example 3 of our empowerment placement, first house, Virgo. All right. And then I'll literally just search Virgo first house natal chart. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys take a photo of this. Let me see how you're doing. I do have a quick little assignment for you if you guys just want to let me know how you're doing here. If you're having trouble, if you're having trouble, let us know, but I think you should be good. And we will definitely do our best to hit that in the Q&A. Doing good? Okay, you guys are amazing. Yes, I love it. I've taught a lot of astrology classes and I'm always like, okay, are we good? Is this coming through? Okay, perfect. So my darlings, I want to hear from you. Why don't you go ahead and I'm going to have you write this out for me, almost like we're moving through like a little foreign language before we take a break. So I want you to pick one of your placements, but here's what you're going to do. Just sit tight before you put it in the chat box. I want you to pick, is it a purpose placement? Is it a money placement? Or is it an empowerment placement? And what I'd like you to do is write purpose or money or empowerment, and then go ahead in the chat box and tell me about, and when I say tell me about, all I mean is just pick, if you did a purpose, if you're going to tell me about your purpose placement, it's sun in the 6th house in Aquarius. You feel me? So you're going to get all 3 things of that placement in one thing. Okay. I just want to see where your placements are because it's very fun. Or if you want to tell me a money placement, type money and then Venus, 9th house, Taurus. Okay. If it's your empowerment placement, oh, I've got Virgo in the 1st house, whatever you want to tell me, I'm excited. And then okay, Alyssa, I'd actually like you to please take that to the Q&A and I will answer that this afternoon 100%. Just because obviously, as I said, there's going to be more planets than just what we're picking out. So I'll definitely give you guidance on how to do that. And be a fun take home. Okay, so we've got empowerment placement, sun in the 1st house in Aquarius, money, Venus and Gemini in the 10th house, awesome. Purpose, Jupiter and Taurus in the 2nd house, awesome. Money, Venus in the 3rd house, Gemini, purpose, Jupiter 1st house, Cancer, awesome. You babes are totally rocking it. Purpose, Jupiter in the 6th house in Scorpio, money, Venus in the 11th house in Leo, awesome. I love it. I love it. Beautiful job, guys. All right. Give yourselves a round of applause, please. You're totally getting it. Totally getting it. I'm really, really impressed. I'm going to go ahead. I think we're just getting ready for our break. And good job. Let me go ahead and take a look. I'm excited. I get excited when I teach astrology. I literally just clap for myself. Good. I want you to do that. I love it. If a sign's between 2 houses, just go ahead and write them all down. I talked about that a couple times. Just make sure that if you see the house and it's splitting 2 signs, just go ahead and write them down. All right. Amazing. All right, you guys. Beautiful job. I love it. You guys are doing incredible. All right, I believe we are going to take a very quick break.
Break time.
Break time. You guys
Break
did
time.
That was so good.
Oh my
Chris
God.
and I are like,
Honestly, I got all my, I don't
like,
know if
oh
you guys
God.
had your phones out too.
Yes, good job. And I don't know if you guys got to see, we've got some amazing placements. You guys are doing incredible.
Yeah, everyone's
Awesome.
crushing it. Just like right
Oh, I love it.
like with things.
Wonderful.
Can I flash up the sun sign slide? Yeah, is that okay when they're
Yeah.
on break? I can just leave that up. Okay, you got it.
So we have a 5-minute break. So we'll see you back here at 11:52. We'll see you soon.
All right, see you guys soon. Let me grab that chart for you. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Good job.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Hopefully you're got a nice beverage. We're all learning so much. I, of course, have my chart, and I also have Justin's chart right in front of me. Just
Yes. All right, babes, you ready to do some manifesting? So I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. We're in full modern mystic mode today. This is my favorite thing to do on a Saturday. So
make sure everyone, just a reminder, any questions that you've put in the chat, just make sure you put them in the Q&A so we can answer them later. But let's get back to it.
All right, let's do it. Love you guys.
Love you.
Okay, let's go. So what I'd like you to do before I go ahead and share my musical screen, I would like you just to, we're going to shift gears a little bit. So go ahead and shake the hands. You can close the eyes if you want, but just kind of shake out the hands, shake out the head. I'm having a little shoulder issue, so not too much head movement for me, but just go ahead and move whatever feels good in your body. Shake, 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 shake. Just kind of like gently move, roll the neck out a little bit, just ready to switch gears, let go of what we just did. Just know we are going to bring it all together in the Q&A. You are going to be master astrologers. So just shaking it out, letting the past go, letting everything go. Go ahead and keep the eyes closed and just tune into the body, tune into the energy of the body. Feeling where your feet meet the floor, where your seat meets the chair. And just go ahead and keep the eyes closed, center in, be with yourself. Feel into your body, bring consciousness to the body. Go ahead and put the palms facing upwards in a gesture of receptivity. And what we're going to do is we are going to focus on our breath. We are going to do a little bit of breath work together. So all that I ask is that you follow my voice, you let yourself receive and really, really come into the power of this moment. All of your manifestation capacity comes from your ability and your willingness to honor yourself as an energetic being and as a present being. So get present. With the palms facing upwards, go ahead and drop the shoulders. Let the jaw relax. Maybe heave out a sigh. Just totally melt into this moment. Feel yourself held by the chair as if it were the earth holding you. Just feel yourself be. With the eyes closed, focus at the third eye, which is just between the eyebrows, just at the top of the nose. If you'd like to open your eyes and see where I have my hands, just right here at the third eye, Ajna chakra. And just feel yourself like a goddess or a priestess or a mystic or a power babe, whatever you prefer. Just sit up nice and straight and feel yourself for just a moment. All right, let's go ahead. What we're going to do here is we are going to take a deep breath in through an O-shaped mouth and puff up the belly like a balloon. Hold the breath, keep the belly puffed out. Exhale out of the O-shaped mouth, deflate the belly. So we're really focusing at the diaphragm. Deep breath in, eyes focus at the third eye. Puff up the belly, hold the breath, please. Hold. Focus at the third eye, exhale, let it go. Deep breath in. Hold the breath, focus at the third eye. Your space of knowing, intuition, hold. Exhale, let it go, deflate the belly. Beautiful, powerful breathing. Deep breath in. Really work with the body. Hold the breath. Focus at the third eye. Exhale, let it go. Deflate the belly. Deep breath in. Hold the breath. Keep the belly puffed out. Focus at the third eye, please. Feel the stillness. Exhale, let it go. Breathe like the wind. Deep breath in. Puff up the belly. Hold the breath. Focus at the third eye, please. Exhale. Deflate the belly. Blow it out like the wind. Last one. Deepest breath in that you've ever taken in your entire life. Hold the breath. Focus at the third eye. Hold for just a moment. Exhale, let it go. Sit for a moment. Observe the body. Observe the feet meeting the earth, the seat meeting the chair. Relax the shoulders, relax the lower back, the hips, the thighs, the muscles of the legs, the organs, the yoni, the chest, the heart, the breast, the shoulders, the arms, the hands. Go ahead and focus at the hands for a moment and create like a little ball of energy there. Just focus there and feel energy. Just focus at the hands and feel energy. Just be with yourself. Maybe it feels a little warm or tingling. It can show up in all different forms. And then bringing the focus up the neck, the back of the head, the temples, the face, the jaw, the throat, and go ahead and meet me in the heart. And just focus on your own heartbeat. Let your breath regulate and just listen to yourself for a moment. Be conscious of the breath. Keeping the eyes closed, please. I want you to focus on one thing that you are really excited to call into your life. Something that you've been really yearning for, or desiring, or aching for even. Just something, it may even feel like it's missing. And I'm going to talk to you today about why it's not missing. But whatever's been coming up for you that you'd really like to experience that you haven't experienced yet, or you'd like more of, whatever it may be, just go ahead, focusing at the third eye, right between the eyebrows, the top of the nose. Just let that thing come into form in the mind. And don't focus on the lack of it. Focus on what you want and why you want it, okay? So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working just for a moment with the power of our visualization faculty and the power of the mind, okay? So all you're going to do is you're going to focus at the third eye. You're going to witness this thing that you are really excited, that you want, that you're yearning for, that you desire, whatever you'd like to manifest. And for now, for the sake of the exercise, please just focus on one thing. Okay, so focus at that third eye space. Hold your vision there. And as I play the music, I just want you to see yourself unfolding this thing. So seeing yourself experiencing it and play it out like a movie. Like if I asked you to do a quick presentation on it or explain this movie that you saw that you loved, that you would be able to explain every detail and most of all, how it made you feel. So go ahead and begin focusing at that third eye space and just play it through for a couple moments. And as the music plays, just see it unfolding in your mind like a mental movie. All right, let's take a deep breath in all together. Exhale, let it out. Deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Deep breath in. Hold the breath. Exhale, let it go. And what I'd like you to do is just go ahead and wrap your arms around yourself, give yourself a big hug, bring yourself completely present into your body, and just seal in that vision, whatever you saw, whatever came through. Maybe it felt very fluid and like a full movie. Maybe it was just bits and pieces of visual inspiration or information. Whatever it was, I want you to sum it up, keep your eyes closed, hold yourself, give yourself a huge hug, hold yourself, and just turn that vision into one snapshot. Okay, so you're going to see that manifestation as one image, almost like you're holding it as a beautiful Polaroid, and you can see it like, okay, this represents this thing, this outcome, this manifestation, and I'm so excited about experiencing. So go ahead and seal that in. Give yourself a big squeeze. You are your own best friend. You manifest together. You, yourself, and you. Let's take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. All right, brilliant. Go ahead as you are ready and open your eyes. Take a big drink of water, please. And then we're going to go ahead and move on. And if you don't mind letting me know in the chat box How you feeling? How was that for you? All the things. How you guys doing? I'm excited to read. All right. So let's manifest. Nice. And you guys, just so you know, beautiful. Oh, I love that, my darling. So here's the thing with manifestation, it's really powerful. Play music. Find a song that you love, put on your headphones, and play it out like that mental movie and just see yourself moving with it. Play it to the music. I love to do that. It's one of my most powerful manifesting techniques. Oh, nice, my loves. Dry the tears, have some water, send yourself love. That's why I always like to hug myself at the end, because sometimes what comes through can be very, very emotional. So all right, and then let's go ahead and grab the notes. We're just going to wrap up on this. I wanted this more so to be a demonstration, and then we've got a really great poll for you on what you are manifesting. I'm really excited to see those. So this is my take on manifestation. Now, first and foremost, when it comes to manifestation, it is an art and perhaps a universal science. And us humans, we are, as we're spiritually evolving, we are just coming into what this actually means. So this is my take on manifestation, and I'm going to walk you through a really cool step-by-step process, kind of similar to what we just did in the exercise, where you can really focus on manifesting. And just so you know, my very key thing around manifesting is surrender. So manifestation has nothing to do with gripping. It has everything to do with flow, trust, magnetism, self-love, self-acceptance, all of the things. Okay, beautiful. All right, so let's do it. So first and foremost, what is manifestation? So these are my 4 tenets of manifestation. So number 1, all right, I love it. Look at these. Oh, I love these. Okay, I'm going to keep these over here so I keep them in mind. So number 1, first and foremost, we are beings of energy. Go like this. Put your hands together. You're like Natalia, you're making us do so many things. I'm an Aries. This is what we do. Okay, rub really hard. Friction, friction, friction. All right, and then pull apart. Go together, apart, together. Ooh, can you guys feel that? Feels like a little bit like a magnet. Okay, we are beings of energy. So that's number 1. Just remember, you are energy, you are frequency. All right, you are energy, you are frequency. Number 2, the universe that we exist within works mentally. So every time you think a thought, the universe is thinking that thought through you. That's the nature of consciousness. That is really, I don't know about you, that's so hard for me to grasp, but it's how it works. Logically, it can be challenging to grasp because it's so enormous. It's so much bigger than us. So just remember, number 2, the universe works mentally. Every time you think a thought, for better or for challenge, that is the universe expressing itself through your consciousness, okay? Number 3, this is extremely important. Our thoughts are energy, and we emit frequency as we think. So just for a moment, think about someone that the last person that made you mad or the last person that like upset you in some way. Don't worry, we're just gonna do it for a second. All right, probably gives you a feeling, right? You can feel something. Okay, let's now think about what we just focused on, what we're excited to manifest. So let's take a look for a moment. Let's focus our thoughts and our energy on love, on a new career, on money, on a baby or family, on a new space or a new home, on soul purpose, on world peace. You don't have to think about all of them, but just notice when you focus on that thing you're excited to manifest, it brings you a different feeling. It brings you a different frequency. So this is the power of our thoughts, my darlings, and our thoughts are what help us manifest. But so often we're working at 2 different levels. We have conscious thought and subconscious thought. Have you guys ever been moving through your day and all of a sudden you're super pissed off and you have no idea why? It's usually your subconscious kicking around some stuff, okay? But what we can do is with the power of the conscious mind, we can drive the ship. One of my favorite analogies of the mind, the conscious to the subconscious mind, is with Joseph Murphy. He wrote a book called The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And the subconscious mind is oceanic. It's huge. It drives the whole ship. So if our mind were a ship, the subconscious is the engine room. You cannot go anywhere without the engine room, right? So the subconscious is the engine room. It is what is driving everything. But the conscious mind is at the top of the ship. It is what can see out into the horizon, make sure there's no islands or animals or icebergs or whatever it may be. I had a dream about Titanic this week, so that made me think of it. Our conscious mind is the top of the ship. But here's the thing. The subconscious may be running everything, but the conscious mind has got to feed it information so that you're not ramming into the rocks all the time of your life. You guys get what I mean? You can utilize the power of conscious thinking to help steer the ship of the subconscious. And this is what helps to shift your frequency. Okay? It might seem like, positive thinking woo-woo BS at first, but this is how it works. You want to have a happy life and manifest and be aligned. Manifestation is about alignment. It's not about force. And at first, when you're retraining your mind to focus on that which is grateful, good, beautiful, powerful, exciting about your experience, it's going to at first feel a little funky, but that's just because you're shifting frequency. Okay? So last part of manifestation is surrender. When we have something that we want and we're focused on it, have you guys ever had where you want something so much? I've got one of my crystals, and you're focusing on so much, and maybe what you really want is a rose quartz, but you're so focused on holding on to what you have that the universe cannot give to you. It's your hands full. Maybe no, but let's say we're not able. My hand's too small. Cannot hold this other crystal. You got to surrender. Open up the energy so that the universe can be like, here we go. You're like, yes, this is what I wanted. This feels more aligned to me. Okay, so surrender is the most powerful force in the universe. Let go, let God. Have your focus and also surrender. Have you guys ever experienced, as you've been exploring manifestation or pursuing a goal or a vision, when you're just like, you want it so bad, and then you cry, you get frustrated? It's the story of my life. My spiritual unfolding was this. I just wanted and I strived, and I just thought if I held on to things, then I'd get it. I could strong arm the universe and strong arm my life. But then what I started noticing is when I trusted, when I worked on just, okay, hey, what is great about what's happening now? What's beautiful about what is going on now? And I want to put that in past tense. When I would emit a frequency of surrender and peace and trust that, hey, you know what? When that thing, the love or the soul purpose or the thing, when I am truly aligned and ready, it is going to make its way to me. And as we do that, we become a magnetic force for miracles. Miracles are the norms, my love. That's the norm, miracles. But we're often so focused on this number 3 part, how we kind of get more focused on the negative or the lack or the fear of, and we forget, like, that's creating a frequency. Don't worry, this just something to note. I don't want you to be a perfectionist at this. When I first learned about manifesting, I was a perfectionist freak, and it was not good. And I was very controlling. And this is how I learned this process. Wow, it has nothing to do with that. Let me focus on what's good. Let me surrender. It's a practice. Surrender is a practice. And let me tell you something, humans are not very good at it, but we can work on it. Okay. I love it. She's like telling a group of Virgos not to be perfect. Yes, I did an the other night, and it was Virgos and Pisces, and we were working through with my Virgos together on how to let go of the perfectionist. But we all have a touch of that, right? That's a deeper story. We'll do another workshop on perfectionism and healing perfectionism, because has no place in the manifestation process. This is such an exploration. Okay, so let's do this. let's talk about how we manifest. So what I would like you to do is go ahead and grab your notes, please. Yes, all right, noted. Almost 30. Take note, babes. I think we all could use a workshop on that. I've gotten pretty good at not being a perfectionist over the years. I've got some good tips and tricks. It really all comes from self-love and just trusting yourself. All right, let's go ahead, get that blank piece of paper, please. And I'm going to take you through this very quickly, because remember, you're going to get these in the follow-up and you can practice this. I also suggest take a photo of this as well if you'd like to keep this on your phone, because this is something you can move through with yourself anytime. So at the top of your page, I'd like you to write down just very simply, what's your vision? What are you manifesting? What are you creating? So go ahead, just write number 1, write it down, okay? And that's kind of my number 2 as well. So number 2, write it down, get clear. And then what I'd like you to do, as it says future tense after number 2, if it's love, be like, I am so excited to call in love, or I really would like to manifest my soul purpose. Whatever it may be, write it in future tense. Okay, so I'm going to give you just a second to do that. All right. We're going to go at Aries speed for all my Virgos. I have a lot of Virgos in my life, and they're always asking me to slow down, and I'm always telling them to speed up. So, okay, so let's go to number 3, please. So with number 3, we're going to write down this vision, this manifestation in past tense, and we're going to do it with like tons of gratitude. And then we're going to do something that might feel a little funny, but I think you're going to like it. So you can use this as like a template, but what I want you to basically write down is like, wow, thank you so much for this incredible relationship. Remember when I was so scared that I would never find love, and now it happened. Wow, thank you so much. You guys feel what I mean? I want you, let's see, let me go back to my poll here. Wow, thank you so much for my epic new job. I remember when I was so afraid that I was never going to find a job or a career that felt good for me. And oh my God, it happened. Thank you so much. You guys see? Okay, so you're going to take a moment, write down in the past tense, like as a gratitude, like, oh yes, it happened. Thank you so much. Okay, I'll give you about a minute to do this. If you were one of the all of the aboves, you've got a lot of writing to do. Just kidding. Just pick one. All right. I'm excited to keep going. You guys ready? Did you write down your 1, 2, and 3? Let me know in the chat. Done. Yes. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, then we're going to move forward and we're going to do some actual tangible work with what we wrote down. Okay, so number 4, we're going to tap into spiritual practice of raising our frequency. Okay, so you guys, I have to be honest, I hurt my shoulder a little bit. So you're going to have to pick up the slack for me and just go crazy. So what I'd like you to do, you're going to stand up from wherever you are. Be careful, please. No, just be careful. Be mindful of your space, all the things. All right. So what you're going to do is I want you just like dance like nobody's watching. Just like move and just say your number 3, like, wow, thank you so much. Remember when I was so scared that I'd never get this job and blah, 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 blah. All right, you guys feel me? So go ahead, take your number 3. I'll actually go ahead and play a song for you. Actually, let me see if I can get it. Actually, no, we got to keep going. I'm actually running a little bit behind. So you're going to dance to the song in your hearts. So just raise the frequency, smile for no reason. If you cannot be happy and joyous before your manifestation comes, you sure as shit, excuse my language, I'm a cursing mystic. You sure as heck will not be satisfied when it comes, okay? You must celebrate for no freaking reason. That is where the magic is, okay? So go ahead, dance. I'm not able to see you guys, but I want to feel your energy. So just feel the feels, move your body, shake, 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 smile. If you're not smiling, I'm not going to move on. Smile, 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 smile. Raise your frequency, get into your body. What a blessing to be a human. What a blessing to be who you are. 1 in every 4 billion chance, I believe, or 4 million chance that you would be you with your unique natal chart. Every 4,500,000 people have the same natal chart. It is so rare and so deeply special. Keep dancing, keep saying your thing, that you would be born. So remember that, raise your frequency. Okay, go ahead and shake it out. Shake it out, 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 shake it out. Okay, have a seat. Let's go ahead from your manifestation. Number 5, I want you to write down, just for the sake of time, go ahead and write down 3 action steps. Okay, so the way that I like to look at this, so what you're going to do, whatever your manifestation is, there's a huge misnomer in manifestation. Okay, dear universe, I want this. Okay, see you later. There's something called the law of action, and the universe really powerfully abides by this law. Do not just sit there and be like, oh yeah, take care of it, see you later. You got to freaking do something about it, okay? Take a small step towards the universe so it can take a giant step towards you. That's a saying of mine. Take a small step towards the universe so it can take a giant step towards you. So go ahead, maybe you're done already, but write down whatever flows through you, 3 simple action steps for your manifestation. If it's love, maybe you download the dating app, or you like start to send more messages. If it's a new career, like I know we're in quarantine, but put together that resume, research, write down those 3 action steps that you are going to do that shows the universe that you are taking a step towards it. When you are complete, go ahead and let me know in the chat, and then we're going to finish up with our manifestation process. Beautiful. You guys are doing amazing. I'll give just one more moment. All right. I love it. All right. Perfect. So these last 3 are very, very simple. So similar to what we just did in number 4, when we were raising our frequency, feeling the vibes, right? Feel the feelings as if the manifestation has come to pass. So go ahead and look at your future tense, your past tense, your action steps, and then feel the feelings in your body. How would it feel if this thing was in your life right now? Go ahead and write that down on number 6. What is the dominant feeling, the dominant emotion that comes up when you have manifested this thing? Write it down. And if you'd like, I actually love this, all capital letters, by the way, please write it in the chat box. What is your dominant, what's that dominant feeling, that dominant emotion that this manifestation grants you? Yes, strong, comforted, bring them through. Hey, all right. Calm, happy, proud, confident, lightness, alive, connected, excitement, pure joy, worthy, sexy, fulfilled, proud, content, connected. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yes. So I love it. I love it. Now, what you guys want to do is you want to focus on what can you do in your day-to-day life in quarantine, especially right now, where you are feeling these emotions just on your own account, okay? That is a massive part of the process. So I want you guys to walk through your life as if you already got this thing. Practice that number 3, move through. When I used to have a lot of financial issues, and I've been building my business over a pretty long period of time at this point, I used to walk around and be like, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. I feel good, I feel rich. And I would just like have a joy party. So going to number 7, practicing joy and gratitude for no reason. If I was waiting for the bank account balance to be what it was to feel joy and gratitude and feel the feeling of empowerment and security, guess what? It eludes you. It's like, it eludes you. Focus on it now. Practice joy and gratitude now. Find ways to raise your frequency now. Okay? This is unbelievably important. And I will say this again. I repeat myself a lot. If you cannot be happy on your own accord without whatever it is you think you need to be happy, you will never be happy. And I don't mean to say that in a grave manner. I say it because so often we think that when we get this thing, we get the love or the career or the home or the purpose, then we'll feel good, we'll feel powerful, we'll feel relaxed, we'll feel complete, we'll feel gracious, whatever it may be. But my darlings, it's backwards. Feel those things first. I used to have a friend, she was an oil heiress, and she stepped into like probably money that will last for 20 legacies. And I remember I went to her home and she had this beautiful thing in her kitchen. And it said, the secret to having it all is knowing that you already do. Because she wasn't always in that energy, in that wealth frequency. The secret to having it all is knowing that you already do. That's it. Okay? That's it. So I want you to find ways, create ways to move through your life as if you are experiencing this thing. Okay? Lastly, surrender the outcome. Okay, I wish I could play Drake, God's Plan, but I know that we're going to keep this recording up. The Drake, I always say the Drake people come after us because of copyright, but that's always the song that plays in my head whenever I want to surrender the outcome. I just think of God's Plan by Drake. It's my favorite. And then I do my dance. I do my God's Plan dance. Just trust. The universe's plan for your life experience is far more magnificent than you can ever imagine. So simply trust that, okay? Are you willing to trust that? Can you let me know in the chat box? Now we're going to move on. I'm really excited for you. Yes. All right, I love it. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of monetization, and then we're going to move into some women's empowerment. We're going to do our Q&A, and then we're calling it a day. This has already been so exquisite, and you guys are so wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, so we said we were going to chat about monetization because in my opinion, and this goes into the women's empowerment piece, you know what? As women, especially as mystical, sensitive, or whatever you are, maybe you're not into the mystical stuff. I don't know if you'd be here if you weren't, but just in case, whatever you're into, I believe so deeply that women deserve to feel powerful and to feel financially free. I believe that as we hold our power, especially with a strong financial frequency, we are unstoppable and we are a force for good in this life. Krista and Lindsay are two of my biggest inspirations for powerful, magnetic, humble, kind, strong women. And look at all the good that they do. Money makes you more of who you actually are. More of who you actually are. Monetization is one of my favorite topics. Now, this can be very short and sweet because we're going to do a quick plan of action before we move on. So first and foremost, what is monetization? So monetization is putting a price on something, right? It's literally like, hey, I want to sell this crystal. All right, $65. Oh, you know what? I do tarot readings, or I have a coaching business. I'd actually love to hear really quickly some of what you guys do, if you just don't mind sending them through on the chat box. Very quick, like literally one line is perfect. Yes, RN. Okay, in the monetization of that, helping and serving others, right? Keeping us healthy. Chinese medicine and tarot. That is a monetization, taking beautiful ancient wisdom, helping and empowering people with deeper insight into the self or into the body or whatever it may be. Sales of cybersecurity, that's fucking cool. So that is a monetization. We are selling, I'm not super familiar with cybersecurity, although I know it is important. We are monetizing the security of the cyber world, we'll say. Hope I did justice on that, Victoria. Pharmacists, monetizing the assistance, the picking out of medicines. Okay, so just so you guys see, everything in some form, thank you guys, awesome. I love hearing what you do. Everything in some form is monetization. And so what I want to ask you before I move on as well, is there something that you'd like to monetize beyond your job Do you want to monetize a skill or a passion or a service, anything like that? If you guys could let me know in the chat box. Maybe something beyond just your job. That's always good to know. Job is definitely a monetized skill. But then in addition, okay, I'll take it that that's what these are. Yes, stand-up comedy, wedding officiating, writing, integrate more spirituality in my fitness studio, beautiful, tarot. Nice. All right, Sarah, I can help you with that. I've been doing it for a long time. Travel planning for others, beautiful. I want to monetize a passion. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. Okay, you guys. So let's talk about this. So monetization is what I just outlined. It's literally taking something, anything. We are used to monetizing with our jobs and our careers, right? That's a very tangible monetization in our society, something that's very accepted. Now, a concept I want to bring to you that I think can be very powerful, especially if you, let's say you just want to bring in additional income or you want to monetize something spiritual, which sometimes I think people can have opinions about, but it's something I've been doing for over a decade. I call it monetizing the intangible. It's taking some part of your passion or your it's taking some part of your passion or something that you love to do and then putting a dollar sign on it. Okay, when we monetize the intangible, we're not just saying, okay, hey, here's a product or here's something specific. It's also looking at, okay, what is just something that I love, that, let's say, if no one ever paid me for this in a million years, I wouldn't care. But if you're talking to me, I'm going to make you get paid for it, because that's part of my work. So when we monetize the intangible, we're kind of taking something out of thin air that we really have a powerful passion towards, and we are offering it as a service. We're putting a dollar sign on it. Okay. And something that I always like to say about monetization with purpose is, do not be afraid of your own power. The world needs you. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit before we end about self-confidence and women's empowerment. Whether you are in a job, a career, a vocation, and you see yourself being there for a lifetime, or you have started your own business, etc., it does not matter. This world right now needs powerful women. The earth will be okay without us. I think we all want to stay here. I love this planet. I love being here with all of you. I think human beings are really connected by love. And so the reason I bring that up, it's a little grave, a little deeper, is simply because I like to encourage women, whatever you deeply want to experience and express in your incarnation, like what we talked about with astrology, that is what God universe wants for you. And I believe no matter if you help 5 people or 5 million people, 5 billion people, that is part of your soul's reason for being here. And you deserve to do well for that thing, especially when it is bringing more security or love or light or whatever it may be, whatever your value is, whatever you want to bring to the world. Okay. So stop being afraid of your own power and make a plan. Whatever your purpose is, you guys all talked about how you would like soul purpose. So we're going to do or many of you are manifesting soul purpose. So we're going to do a very cool exercise here where we're going to start to break it down a little bit and start to take a look. Okay, what is my soul purpose? Or what are some things that I could do that I could possibly monetize that I really want to do? Okay, so let's just go ahead and grab your notebooks, please. And I want you to write these down. So you are going to first write down 5 to 10 things that you love in this life. And I want you to turn off your logic brain, and I want you just to write down things you love. Listen to your heart for a second. Don't be like, how can I monetize that? Or what's the ROI on that? No. We're not doing that right now. I just want you to focus on, okay, hey, I love this thing in life, whatever it is. So go ahead, 5 to 10 things, just take a moment, stream of consciousness, do not judge them, let them out. And do not stop yourself. Look around. If you're visual like me, look around, look at your body, look at outside. There are things you love that are present in your life experience every single second. So just get present to it. Have a look. And when you're done, if you don't mind letting me know in the chat box, that would be magnificent. Thank you so much. All right, however many you wrote down, fantastic. Let's go to B. Let's look at 3 to 5 ways that you want to help others or make them feel. So I want you to write down 3 to 5 ways that you want to help others or make them feel. Okay, so go ahead and write that down. 3 to 5 ways you want to help others, make them feel, heal them, whatever it may be. And when you're done, if you could just put an A in the chat box, that would be awesome. Thank you. Awesome. All right, thank you guys. Okay, you're like, why'd you make us do A? We did B, but whatever. It's just what came to mind. Okay, let's go to C. I want you to write down 5 things that you are willing to do about your dreams. What are 5 things that you're willing to do about what you want in this lifetime? 5 things, and just see what comes through. You might be surprised how much you already know. So often we're so busy telling ourselves that we don't know, and really we do know. Just let it pour through whatever comes through. All right. When you're done with that, go ahead and put a C. Nice. Thank you. Fantastic. Thank you guys so much. All right, if you're still working on it, go ahead and start to wrap it up. I actually have a D for you. I didn't put it in the slide. And what I want you to do is write down how you want to feel consistently all the time. Write it in like big capital letters. This is how I want to feel. I want to feel this. I want to feel this in my life. I want to feel this. Maybe it's a sentence, maybe it's a word. Go ahead and write it down. That'll be our D. Okay, now when it comes to monetization, as weird as this might sound, what you're gonna do, you guys have got some homework today. So you're gonna take a look at A, B, and C. You're gonna take a look at the things that you love and be like, okay, which one of these things would I be excited to help heal and make let's see, let me put this first. Which one of these things would I be excited to help others with or heal them with or connect with them on? Does this match how I want to make them feel? Do you guys see what I mean? Pick something, the thing that lights you up the most. Just make a decision. If you've been with me for a little bit or you're new to me, just know that I am the being in your life, or whether you're with me a lot or very little, where I will require you from a space of love and self-respect to make decisions for your life and stop wallowing, stop being perfect, stop procrastinating. Just fucking do something about what you want. That's very important to me. I don't mean to push you. But I want you to get used to making decisions and being willing to do something about them, not judging if they're right or wrong and then waiting for 10 years. I've been working with women for a very long time. I've heard it all. So picking that one thing from A, how you want to help others, how you want to heal them, or how you want to make them feel, that can always help you pick the thing from A. And then the C, what are you willing to do to bring that into fruition? Yes, yes. That's a good question. 5 things you're willing to do about your dreams. Yeah, I mean, your dream, your vision, it can pertain. I would prefer if it pertained to something that you wrote down. But we all know if there's something that we want to do, we know what that is. And if we feel a little unclear, by doing this exercise, you can be like, okay, what do I love? How do I want to help other people? Stop making it about me and me not knowing, and more about how I could help or connect to others or make them feel. And then what are some actual action steps, tangible steps, like we talked about in manifestation? Something you're actually willing to do about that thing. And then from this, go ahead and you'll make yourself a price list. So if you guys wouldn't mind, do you mind sending me through one of the things, and then just next to it, I'm going to make, hold on, don't do it yet. I want you literally to write one of the things out that you're going to commit to monetizing, and then put a price next to it, just so you can see it in your mind and see that you can do it. Okay. So go ahead. This is a safe space of so much love and respect. I only want the absolute best for you. I know Kristen, Lynn, we are all holding you in the highest regard. I know, Melina, you got to just let that shit go. Get in front of the mirror and love yourself. Let it go. Let it go. Has no room. That's why I talk about how important women's empowerment is and our confidence, because the earth is, in a sense, showing us that she's dying if we do not become more conscious. And not so much she'll die and cease, we won't get to be here anymore. And so the reason why I love to teach this and I get really intense about it is because it's very important. Like, we've all got to stop hiding from our power, make decisions. And that's why that B part, number B, or letter B here, is so powerful, because it's not just about you. It's about how you are here to make others feel, and how you're here to help them. I would like to see way more responses before we move on. We're almost done, so don't worry. This is one of the most powerful empowerment things that you can do, is just making a decision. And look, whatever you click here, or whatever you put in here, you don't have to stick by it for 30 years, but go ahead, write some things out. I'm not going to move on till I see way more. Are you guys doing okay? Is this feeling heavily confronting, or are you just thinking about what you'd like to do? These are looking incredible. Keep them going. Keep them coming. I'm so proud of you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm really impressed. Keep it going. Pick one. Pick one. There you go. Pick one thing. I've heard it all, I'm telling you, including the way too many. Pick one thing. If you want to do 6 things, you can do that, but pick one to start. Nice. You guys are doing incredible. How does it feel to type this out and put a price next to it? Can you guys let me know? How are you feeling right now? Beautiful. Yes. Yes. Makes me emotional. Yes. Yes. I love it all. Fear and excitement are the same side, are the 2 different sides of the exact same coin. Yes. Yes, Brett. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, my darlings. Nice, Melina. You picked one. I love that. Keep it going. Nice. All right, keep them going. We've got 44 women here, I believe. I want to see 44 responses. Keep them coming. As you bring those through, and if you've sent through your what you'd monetize in the price, I then want you to let me know how you're feeling. How does it feel to admit that to yourself? How does it feel to write it down and then put a price next to it? If you already sent it, thank you. I saw it. So, my loves, stand by yourself. I'm going to give you a really powerful tool for helping you to just do this. And I'm so proud of you. I want you to do something called mirror work. So you're going to get in front of the mirror. If you have your phone extra, if your phone's just on extra, hopefully, I don't think too many people here are on their phones. You can literally just open up your camera So you got a mirror going, okay? I just got my phone here. If you have a mirror, or you can go in the bathroom when we're done. And literally, I want you just to meet yourself and smile into your own eyes and say, I'm proud of you. I've got your back. I'm here for you. We can fucking do it. If you don't have your own back, how do you expect anyone else to? That's the only reason you hesitate, is just because you haven't totally fortified this relationship just yet. That's it. Connect to you. Hold your own heart, your own power. Hold yourself. We did some kind of woo-woo, interesting, weird things, but my loves, this is all a part as we hold who we are and say, I fucking love you. I got you. I'm sorry I cuss a lot. I accept that a part of myself. When you can do that, you can do anything. Know thyself, love thyself, accept thyself, or in that order. You are unstoppable. And as you just admit this to yourself, hey, you know what? This is something I ache to do. I would love to do this. My darlings, you just opened up your heart to your soul purpose this much more, especially if that was something you wanted to manifest today. Okay? I'm really proud of you. I'm really honored. Mirror work is one of my greatest takeaway tools for really anchoring this in. And all you do is just get in front. Does anybody have their phone? Do you guys have, can you do this for me one more time? I want to make sure this anchors. Can you guys grab your phones for me? Thank you. Open up the camera, hold your gaze, smile at yourself. You just move through a lot of fucking information and a lot of energy. And I want you just to say, I got you. I love you. I accept you. I'm willing to listen to you. Whatever the conversation is, whatever you'd like to open up to yourself, this is empowering yourself. This is empowering your soul's trajectory. All right. Beautiful. I want you to give yourself a big round of applause. Beautiful job. Oh, my love, because you're meeting yourself. You are meeting yourself. Beautiful job. I bow to all of you. I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much for giving me the privilege to guide you today. I really appreciate your attention and your participation. And yes, mirror work is very emotional, but this is what will set a positive anchor in for you to always have your own back and to go for it. Okay. Love you guys so much. I'm going to go ahead and take off my share. And yeah, thank you so much. Wonderful, wonderful job, you guys. I'm so moved by you. Thank you so much. Yay.
That was so beautiful.
So powerful.
Nice, babes. You did incredible.
Natalia.
Thank you. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much. That was great. Yes.
Thank you.
You're amazing. How's everybody feeling? You guys doing okay? We get some tears. There's usually some tears in a modern mystic workshop. It's part of the deal. Yes.
So we will leave the Q&A and get through as many as we can. We're right on time. I'm sure we'll be able to get to them all. Okay, Natalia, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay. And just a reminder to anyone who didn't get their questions in the Q&A, you can add it now. All right, Melina says, so interesting that you can do a natal chart for your business. In terms of calculating this, would it be the day you opened, even if there was no exact time of the business's conception? So exactly what are we thinking? Is it when it launched, when you thought about it?
Pick a time. Like I have a chart for my music project, and it's not like I knew, okay, at this moment I birthed this idea, but there was a general time of day that I concepted this thing, right? So I just picked a time that felt really resonant for me. That's kind of the difference with like a birth natal chart and an event chart, is you just have to pick, especially for the owners, it's like the parents, right? You just pick a time. and stick with that time. And if it feels off, which it typically won't, you got to trust yourself. But if you pick a time and it feels a little bit off, you can start to explore some of the times and see what really like resonates for you for the biz.
Love it.
Awesome.
Lauren says, if we have two signs split between a house, do we look at which sign is majority of the house number?
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing about that is that a lot of astrologers will say different things. So I personally like to read both. So you guys saw in the example how sometimes there was just a little bit of the sign and then a lot of bit of another sign. The way I look at that is that maybe, let's say if it's in the second house, you've got a little bit of Cancer and a lot of Leo. Definitely take into account both, but maybe just see that the Leo holds more weight. An astrologer that I'm studying with, she really only reads the where whatever like sign is beginning the house, but just personally that just doesn't resonate with me. And for all the readings that I've done and exploring my own chart and my personality, taking both into account just really speaks to me.
Great.
Let me know if that helps. Sorry, that was loud.
No, it's perfect. Okay, so Anne says, almost all of my planets are on one side of the chart. The other half is basically empty, no planets. What does that mean?
Nothing. It just means that that's what was going on the planets that day, the moment that you were born. There is a book. Oh my goodness, what is it called? It's like one of the first astrology books I ever read. It's so old. It looks like an astrology for dummies kind of thing, but it talks about the different configurations. But to be honest, it's not something I've ever gotten super deep on, so I wouldn't be able to really speak to it. But you are more than welcome to explore. And that's the thing. I just, you know what I'm just going to have to say? I just don't know. I know that there is a part of astrology where they do look at the different configurations of like, if you have a bunch of planets on the bottom and one at the top. But to be honest, studying this for over 10 years and reading books and internet sources and all the different things, for me personally, I've just picked up on the things that I felt were extremely helpful for me and for my clients. So for this babe, if that's something where she's like, whoa, I want to know about that, then go research that. That's how I unfolded my sort of information bank with astrology, was really following intuitively what spoke to me. So I would say for her to do the same thing.
Lauren says, where can we look in our chart to find limiting beliefs that we have to work with? And is there a place where we can find insight on how to work through those beliefs?
Yeah, so your 12th house represents your subconscious. That can definitely be the house where if you have a lot of planetary activity, it won't necessarily point out exactly your limiting beliefs, but you can get some great information on how to, like, maybe what's going on in there, or depending, especially the sign that's traversing. So remember, you guys looked at all my fun things. Whatever sign is on the outside of that 12th house, to overcome those limiting beliefs or whatever's going on, if there's like lots of activity there, go to the strengths of that sign. So I personally have a Capricorn rising, and my 12th house is filled with Capricorn. It's all Capricorn. And so for me, moving through like a lot of just intensity and bullshit, I used to have very, very low self-worth. Well, for me, it was almost like Capricorn, the negative expression of that sign is perfectionism. Remember, many of us here, I think we're recovering perfectionists, or we're healing that part of ourselves. But to go to the light side of Capricorn and to see maybe how to overcome some of those, like the old self-worth or whatever it may be, negative self-worth, I can go to the strengths of Capricorn. Does that make sense, Lauren? That's a really cool way to use astrology. It's very simple. So as you guys deepen your studies, you literally can look up Awesome. You guys can literally look up like, okay, I have Venus in the 12th house. What does that mean? I have Venus in Capricorn. What does that mean? What does Capricorn represent? And then look at the strengths and the weaknesses of Capricorn, and you can see how to work with the energy of that house and of that planet. Okay.
Super helpful.
Awesome.
Mia says, all of my houses divide between 2 zodiac signs. One zodiac sign more than the other. How should I best research that?
So the way I've been learning about that is that that is what's known as an incepted chart. I have the same thing. And again, I personally read both signs, but if you would like, which like I'm studying with Vanessa Montgomery right now. She's an astrologer based in, very cool astrologer and author based in Australia. She talks about, like I was saying a couple minutes ago, reading the sign that originates at the beginning of the house. So that's one way that you can do it as well. But personally, I like to read both.
Great.
Yes.
Haley says, newbie here, is there a significance to all my planets being on the same half of my chart, houses 1 through 6?
Again, I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there probably is. But again, just let's see. So if it goes 1 through 6, so that means you are below the horizon. I wonder, it was Haley. Haley, were you born in the morning? Maybe let me know what time you're born.
Yes, Taylor says, what would it mean if Jupiter is in my 6th house, since both represent purpose?
Okay, both. Say that one more time. I was reading her thing.
Sorry. What would it mean if Jupiter is in my 6th house, since both represent purpose?
I mean, that's kind of cool. Like you get to like double read that, or you maybe don't have to go in all the directions, right? And looking at different places. That just means you have a very powerful concentration of purpose in that placement. So Jupiter in the 6th, did she say the sign?
No.
No, that's okay.
Taylor, if you can in the chat, you can Scorpio.
Okay, cool. So Jupiter, 6th house, Scorpio, and your Jupiter's also in the 6th. That's awesome. That's awesome, Tay Tay. Just focus on that. You got a lot of information there. Welcome.
Alexandra says, I have 2 signs in my 6th house, mostly Pisces, and then some Aries. How do I research this for purpose?
Okay, I feel like I've really answered this one. Is everybody feeling clear on this now?
Yeah.
Research both. That's awesome. Like that's, and I don't mind repeating myself. I think repetition is how we learn, but so you choose either what, if it feels more authentic to you to only pay attention to the sign at the very beginning of the house, then totally do that. If it feels like both, then go with both. Like for me personally, this is an example I didn't use, but in my 7th house, my marriage house, it traverses Cancer and Leo. Well, the way I show up in my partnerships, whether it's with my team or my partner, my boyfriend Mick, I bring out both Cancer energy and Leo energy. Okay. So that's the way that you can look at it.
Cool.
Yes.
What is an astral exile period?
I have no fucking clue. You guys are fucking, you guys should taught this class. I don't know.
I've never heard
astral exile period. Can you tell us what that is? I've never heard of that before.
Maybe let us know where you're reading that.
Yeah, where you read that. That sounds fascinating, actually.
Okay.
What does it mean for money placement to have Venus in the 1st house in Sagittarius?
So some of these are going to be a little more specific, which I think is okay. We'll get to the more general, but
yeah, and I think these can be some cool examples for you guys so that you can see in your research. So as I walked you through at the end of that section, take to the internet or get your astrology books or whatever it may be, and just take a look and be like, okay, can you read me the placement one more time?
Sure. Sagittarius, What does it mean for empowerment to have Sagittarius, Venus, Mars, and Mercury in the first house? Did I just?
I think no. It's what does it mean for money placement to have Venus in the first house in Sagittarius?
I know it's like so much info
Sorry.
here. So a money placement Venus in the first house, and in what sign?
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius. Okay, cool. So what was this person's name?
Allie.
Allie. All right, Allie. So in essence, so what you want to do when you're researching is when it comes to your money, you want to take a look. So Venus is that like creative force. And by the way, you guys are getting my astrology essentials course. It's going to take you even deeper into astrology. We had so much amazing stuff to go through today. Is very multi-purpose, this workshop. And if you want to go even deeper onto astrology and really understanding your chart, you're going to get the basics in that follow-up course. And that's our gift to you. So you can really get the most out of it. So when it comes to Venus in the first, this can be like you monetizing through the first house. So the first house is the house of self, the house of leadership. Then we want to look at the qualities of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a truth teller. It's very fiery. It can be very philosophical. So without me giving too much of an interpretation, because that's what I like to put in the hands of my students, I want you to take a look. So Venus, first house natal chart, Sagittarius first house natal chart. And then when it comes to money, be like, okay, how does this information lend itself to my money, my monetizing, etc.? Does that make sense, everyone? That's like super, super important. And then if you have a question, please just chuck it in the Q&A, not in the chat. Thank you so much.
Okay, great.
We got a new question over here.
So Katie says, what are some good crystals to have near you to better manifest money, purpose, or empowerment and empowerment?
Oh, that's awesome. I actually have all of them right here. I was like, I'm going to require all my crystals today. So this is one of my favorite stones. It is called mahogany obsidian. I learned about this from one of my dear sisters in LA. She has a crystal store called Open Eye Crystals. And she taught at something that I put on in the fall. And she was saying how mahogany obsidian is abundance energy. It's literally prosperity energy. And when you sleep, when you are going to bed at night, you put it on your sacral chakra and it helps you just dwell in abundance and feeling secure. Because that's so, so important when it comes to our manifestation capacity, having faith in abundance when we're maybe not just manifesting, but also with our money, etc. And then these are all from Open Eye, actually. Carnelian is an incredible confidence stone. I literally sit on this like a mother hen. I just like so I put this at my root chakra, but this is so powerful for just warrior energy. I talked to you guys in the manifestation portion and in monetization about taking action, right? So this is very powerful for just tapping us into our energy and just acting, doing, going for it, activating that law of action. And then citrine, of course, I think someone said here, yeah, this is a wonderful stone for money. I love citrine. And Tanya says pyrite and citrine. Absolutely. Because these ones, they activate, I know you guys don't see, but they activate the solar plexus. And so the solar plexus, it's that sun. And think about the sun. It's never ending energy. I mean, at least for 1 billion years, but it's this never ending power. And so anything that really resonates at the lower chakras, since money and abundance, and maybe not so much abundance, but money, purpose, all of that, it really originates from us being in our bodies and doing something about what it is that we'd like to create, right? So these are kind of all like lower chakra stones.
Yeah,
and then I've got rose
color correlates with the chakra that you want to connect with.
Exactly.
If planets are constantly moving, does this mean that our charts are constantly changing based on where we are in our lives? If so, how often should we take a look at them and use the resources you suggest?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So first and foremost, just to get to know yourself, especially if you are very new or just kind of really diving into your mystical um, capacity, study your natal chart first. That's something I always like to suggest for anyone who really wants to understand astrology, and maybe even do this as a practice or a vocation. Get to know yourself first. Remember my first thing at the start of the workshop, know thyself. That's where all your power is. And so there is something in astrology called progress charts. But guess what? When you know how to read your natal chart and you get to know these placements, and these placements are great beginning spaces. But as you get to know the placements, that very simple little diagram that I showed you guys of like the sign, the house, the planet, etc., and doing your research, well, you're going to be able to read any chart ever. You know what I mean? So you can read progress charts. Progress charts are fascinating. And once you understand the basic languaging of astrology and of your own chart, it's easy to read any chart. So, yeah, you can definitely look up progress charts. They're very fascinating.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Alyssa says, do you have suggestions for where to start researching? Do you have any
Oh, yeah,
resources
for
that you
sure.
trust that we could
So, well, the follow-up, and I'm not just plugging the follow-up goodies, but I am, so it's fine. But my book, Mystical AF, it's more of a it's me talking about my story, but I'm using the lens of astrology, so it's highly educational. It's really for you to get to know, hey, this is how one person utilized the placements in her chart. This will sound familiar for you guys after today, but this is how one person utilized her placements and like really utilized them for empowerment, for monetization, for purpose, etc., and really seeing it play out. And then also the astrology essentials workshop is going to be really powerful for you guys as well, because again, that's a great resource. Now, as far as like websites and books, so I love cafeastrology.com. I use astro.com. I use Astro Twins. They're all very similar. You got some, it's how you know they're astrology sites. So those are three of my favorites, and they're very empowering. A word, and I hope everyone's still here from the very beginning because this is really important. When you are researching your placements, please do not pay attention to doom and gloom fatalistic astrology. It's damaging. Don't do it. If you sense that you found a site that's more just like, oh, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, say fuck you and go to a new fucking site. I'm really adamant about that, because you guys know, and this is why I take what I do from my heart very seriously, because you can say something to someone and they will never forget it. You know what I mean? Especially if it's mean. We have our brains are wired for something called the negativity bias. So we definitely can remember negativity and pain and trauma very strongly because it's how we survive. So, but for the sake of astrology empowerment and for the way that I would love for you babes to continue on your astrology journey, please, that's why with the books I'm about to outline, please only use books and resources that are empowering. That's all I ask, please, because I want you to look at your chart and your astrology as something expansive and empowering versus something that scares the shit out of you. And I have seen it all. I have been on the internet with weird, wacky fucking sites for a long time. I'm sure you guys are familiar. And I just think it's so disrespectful to do that, because you know what? Life unfolds. I do believe there are certain things that are destiny points, but it's because our soul wants to learn and grow through those points of destiny, but they are never meant to tear us apart. They're never meant to be, oh, you're a good soul, or you're a good person, you get this. That's not how it works. Everyone experiences and expresses through their trajectory astrology is just one way to look to explore the trajectory, but everyone explores and experiences what they are meant to for their soul's greatest unfoldment. So I really want you guys, I should like make a freaking like commercial. We should put a quarantine infomercial on about astrology. It's really important to me. And so the books that I love, all of that to say, a couple of books that I really love for astrology is Star Power by Vanessa Montgomery. That's my teacher. Unbelievable, so powerful, and so for the modern progressive way of looking at astrology. Astrology, like art, reflects the time that it's in. So if you read an astrology book from 500 years ago, well, guess what? They probably were, I mean, not to be crass, but like what, I'm not even gonna say that. I have a Sag moon, so sometimes I like stop myself from saying things. Anyways, it was fucking gnarly. So you can imagine that for an astrologer witnessing the time and expressing the system of astrology based on that time, it's going to be way different than how astrology is interpreted now. Okay, so Star Power by Vanessa Montgomery. Is there another book that I like? I don't think so. Let me check really quickly. Sorry, I don't want to miss anything for you. That, to be honest, if you ask any of my students, they used to always ask me like, what astrology books do you like? And I was like, none of them, to be honest. I've never found one that I really resonated with, that I felt was giving like empowering information. A couple of them here and there, but let me just take a quick look-see. So Star Power. I'm sure there's others. Maybe you guys know about them. I'm not sure. No, you know what? That's all I'm going to say. I used to suggest the only astrology book you'll ever need, but to be honest, it's a brilliant book, but it's a little too fatalistic for me. As I've gone a little bit deeper, it's not one that I recommend anymore.
Got it.
Yeah, but that's because that was the only book I had before I found Star Power. So yeah. All right.
Yeah, you guys will get the course and you'll be able to dig
Yes,
into
you'll be able to use it. Sorry, that was a deep question and I just went on a full dissertation.
Oh, I loved it. I actually needed to hear that.
And if you get, so someone said about the only astrology book you'll ever need, if you have it or you use it, use it with a grain of salt. Because I've seen a lot of things in there where I'm like, whoa, I would never tell someone that. That's so gnarly. And so I just want you to be mindful of it. Use it wisely. Okay, I'll take a moment.
Okay. Saturn return. Let's talk Saturn return. So a lot of our community, we are all about it. How can they determine or find out when their Saturn return starts and ends based on their chart?
Okay, let me, is it okay if I do a quick demonstration?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, can someone send in the chat box who's going through their Saturn return right now? So your date, your time, and your place of birth, please, if you are actually moving through your Saturn return right now, because I can really easily. Okay, thank you, Victoria. Let me go ahead and pull this up and then I will bring you guys over as soon as I do it. I'm pretty fast at pulling these charts up these days, because this is actually pretty cool to understand. And it teaches you a lot. Okay, so this is Victoria. Oh, well, happy birthday, Victoria. You had your birthday.
Oh my gosh.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Awesome.
Happy birthday, babe. All right, let's
open in. If you could just like briefly define what Saturn return is.
Oh, absolutely. So a Saturn return is like astronomically, it is when, let's see. Let me just pull this up. So Saturn return is when, so the moment you're born, Saturn's at a specific place, right? And do you guys know what a solar return is? It's your birthday. So what it means is that once a year, the sun meets your natal sun at the place it was the day you're born, right? So that happens every year. Every planet has a return in your chart, which is really cool. Yeah. Saturn return is just a little more notorious because Saturn is a malefic planet and we just feel it pretty strongly because he has a very heavy energy and resonance in our lives, in our charts, etc. So with a Saturn return, so imagine this is your Saturn, it's up here and it's down in Aquarius or whatever. This is the day you're born in 92. 28, 29 years later, Saturn starts to move in on your natal Saturn, on your natal point. And this is a Saturn return. Does that make sense? That's the astronomy behind it. That's what's physically happening. And that's why we call it a Saturn return. A birthday is a solar return. So I can demonstrate this for you very quickly in a chart, just so you guys can have a look. Do we have a lot more questions, babes?
We have like, yeah, but you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm just going through them right now.
Okay, awesome. Okay, this is super fun. Oh, nice. 2 of them are from Harlington, Texas. I love that.
That's so funny.
That's so funny. Okay, can you guys see the chart?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go ahead and zoom in here.
Okay, so again, we're looking at how to determine
The Saturn return.
or Saturn return.
So so this was for, I forgot the name, but it's okay. We got you. We got your birthday.
Great.
So here is, so look at you guys once again, the signs, the planets are at random, and then the houses are here, right? So the day that, actually I do want her name, so I'm not just
Victoria.
Victoria, thank you guys so much. So the day that Victoria was born, this is where Saturn was. It was literally at 17 degrees in Aquarius. And because of the time that she was born, these are the house placements. I really apologize if I didn't talk about that earlier. I didn't want to overload you guys with too much information. The reason why the time of your birth is so important for natal charts is because if the time changes, this ascendant is wrong, and then your house placements are wrong. So you really, really, really want the time to be accurate so that you're getting an accurate reading. So at the time Victoria was born, this is where her, in 1992, this is where her Saturn was, okay? Does everybody see these green planets on the outside of the periphery of the chart? Well, this is really cool because this is actually where the planets are right now. Remember what I just said? This is the perfect example. Remember what I just said about a solar return? So here's her natal sun. Here's the transit sun. She just had a birthday. That's how we know. If you ever see the transit sun right on top of the natal sun, happy birthday. It's your birthday. Her birthday was just yesterday, so it's still very, very close. So these green little symbols on the outside, planetary symbols, this is where the planets actually are in the sky right now. And so as we can see, here's Saturn. Saturn is very slow moving, but let me see what degree Saturn is at currently. So Saturn is currently at 1 degree Aquarius. So it's not making even a loose conjunction to her natal Saturn yet. So her Saturn return hasn't technically started yet. But this is how you can start to get an idea. As this starts to move in, when it's within 10 degrees, and this is a little bit more advanced, but when it's within 10 degrees of this natal planet, she's having a Saturn return. And that's why they last a couple of years. Simply because it depends how an astrologer reads it, but I read 10 degree as a conjunction. And so all that while Saturn is starting to move, come on over here. And once it's here at 17 degrees, that'll be over a span of time. There you have it. She's having her Saturn return. And let me just tell you guys also, Saturn returns are not all bad. They're not a negative. They are a powerful time of evolving and learning and stepping into your power. I mean, I look at what Linz and Krista have created about almost 30. It's like moving through that time and then stepping into your power, your identity in your 30s. And that is after your Saturn return. So your Saturn returns are really powerful, defining time, and any challenges that come up, they're literally there to serve you.
Yes.
Amazing.
Perfect.
There was a few people who just wanted to really briefly review the empowerment placement. If we could just
absolutely
clarify on that, since there was a few people who asked.
Absolutely. Let's go back to it. Oh, I should have did that. Okay. So I'll keep or if you guys can let me know, what were the questions around it?
So it's just how to recap on how to research empowerment. So taking the sun in the first house, and exactly how would you, like for a Google search, for example.
Yes, absolutely. So this page is going to be like everyone's best friend when you're really going deeper on your placements. And so let's take a look at the empowerment placement. So let's say this, just in my example, the first house or the sun, right? Or the first house and the sun. So for this natal chart, their empowerment placement would be sun in the 6th in Aquarius. Okay. And so when we research that, remember, we break it up. We want to know what sun in the 6th means, and we want to know what Aquarius in the 6th means, or sun in Aquarius, or whatever. You'll get to know what it all means as you break up those two parts of the placement. Okay. What I've done here in the chart. If you want to know about, let's see, the other part of it was first house. So then we want to look at, okay, what does it mean when Virgo is traverses the first house of the natal chart? So you can literally research Virgo first house natal chart and get to know, what does Virgo represent? And then what does the first house represent? And what does it represent when those two things are together? That's what you do when there's an empty house. So maybe that's what got a little bit confusing, because I was using the example of an empty house for this one, but really you're going to research these all the same. So the reason I chose sun for empowerment is because the sun is like where you light up. It's your power. I mean, think about the sun. It powers everything, And so wherever the sun is in your chart, it illuminates, it brightens, it empowers whatever it touches. So, excuse me, you can look at the sign that your sun is placed in, the house that your sun is placed in, and get a lot of information about how you can empower yourself, how you can express your power in your life. Does that make sense? Go to the strengths of your sun sign. Like, I'm an Aries. Like, I go to the strengths of being a leader and also being like kind of childlike with people. Like, that's a big Aries thing, right? A gift that I also offer through my sun sign is the empowerment of being who you are. Aries is all about the individual. And that's why I did mirror work at the end. I just fully accept myself as I am. Like, I just love the shit out of myself, and I show up as that person. That's how I empower myself. And when you empower yourself to just be who you are, you liberate others and let them do the same thing. So that's why the sun placement for me is important. The first house is the house of self. Like, you can, again, like I said over here, if this was my chart, I would look at this first house and be like, okay, so maybe I express myself or my leadership capacities or my ability to be an individual also as a Virgo. Maybe I express some of those first house tendencies as a Virgo. So high attention to detail, a perfection, a meticulousness that people really know me for. Does that make sense? You are not just one thing in this life. You are not just one thing in astrology. You are like a magnificent melange of all these different things. And so obviously today, this wasn't so much a full natal chart demonstration as it was really picking out these parts of for these placements for money, purpose, and empowerment. But my loves, I just armed you with a system where you can get to know your entire personality through your chart if you're willing to do the study.
Beautiful. Love it. For
Nice.
manifestation, do you focus on one thing, or can you do a few things?
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Love it.
Do whatever you want. Have fun.
Let's do 2 more questions. Chirons.
Yes.
Can we get a quick blurb about what they are?
A Chiron, the comet. I'm like forgetting right now. This light is like overpowering.
Yeah. What is Chiron? It's a comet that shows up in people's charts, right?
Yes. So Chiron shows up. I mean, there's a lot of asteroids. There's a lot of asteroids in the chart. Actually, I'm sorry. Chiron is not a comet. It is an asteroid. And there is an asteroid belt in our universe, in our galaxy specifically, or I guess we'd say our solar system specifically. And many people say that getting to know the asteroids, oh, sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to know the asteroids in astrology actually is the feminine part of astrology. It's kind of like the divine feminine expression of the planets. So Chiron is known as the wounded healer. He's known as a he, but it represents where we've been wounded in other lifetimes. It represents maybe where we have a chip on our shoulder or where we feel less than, and maybe deep wounds or things to move through, that as we do it, we empower ourselves, we step into our purpose, we heal others, etc.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question, I think. So this is from Marina, and I'm just gonna kind of zero in on this part of the question about being compatible with your business. When you're looking at like your business chart, do you kind of look at compatibility, or are there certain lessons to learn? Okay.
You could. I've never done that before. I mean,
So
go
like
for
compatibility in general, like friends, business partners, do you look at that? Like, because I know it's such a hot like thing in astrology to say like, are you compatible with them? But
I know.
what,
I'm
what's
like
your
so
thought?
the anti.
Okay, cool.
I'm a little anti-compatibility because I think it closes people's minds. I
Totally.
think, astrology it influences, it does not dictate. So remember that, put it on a bumper sticker. Like, astrology influences, it does not dictate. You are living your life through free will with small amounts of destiny that your soul agreed to before you got here. So with that being said, compatibility, like, I just don't love it, just because I think that it is a hot buzzword and people abuse it. I just don't think it's spoken about in an empowering way, and I get pissed. I'm very passionate. That's another Aries thing of mine. But just when I hear it being talked about very simplified, I just think it can close people, and they're like, oh yeah, well, sorry, we cannot be friends, or I'm not going to do this business because we're just not compatible because there's a square, there's an opposition. That's fucking bullshit. Number one, squares and oppositions in astrology create mastery. So that's a deeper dive, but you can learn about aspects in the follow-up course that you guys are getting, the aspect section about, it's that explains like what I'm talking about and what all astrologers, from what I understand, or many will say, base compatibility off of, which is aspects. And a lot of it to me is just very basic, and I don't fuck with it.
Great. Obsessed. So good.
Love you.
This was so good. The
guys
meditation was so
much.
powerful. The manifestation piece just really inspired me. The mirror work was profound. Just connecting with, empowerment, and even talking through the questions and talking about Chiron and what that is, and the 12th house and everything like that was so helpful. And I feel so inspired. You are so inspiring. And I know that the women enjoyed it just as much as we do. So we want to thank you so much for joining us today, for hopping on. You have information that is coming to you and following, which we're really excited about. Natalia, I'd love for us to tell everyone that joined where they can find you.
Yes, and thank you guys also for the amazing questions, and Linz and Krista, thank you so much. Did you like my Linza?
Oh my God, I loved it. Our new name.
That's it.
Celeb, the next celeb thing.
Yeah.
I love it. So thank you guys so much, as always, just for believing in me and allowing me to have such a beautiful platform. And thank you guys so much. This was so special, and thank you for your questions. So you can find me, I'm very active on Instagram. It's just at Natalia_Benson, and my website is nataliabenson.com. Let's see, you can Where else would you want to connect? I have a podcast, just Natalia Benson, the podcast. Lots of fun information. I definitely zero in a lot on like tangible uses for astrology and all the things. But yeah, Mandy says she's feeling tired. You guys, please drink so much water. I'm going to go have a beautiful lunch. Go just really get grounded, maybe get your feet on the earth. Turn off your computer for the day. Many probably want to just deep dive into this for the rest of the day, but give yourself just maybe a little bit of a break and then come back in, just because we did just do a lot of intense work. So yeah, thank you guys so much.
I'm going to post just where you can connect on just the
Please.
closing slide, and we'll just put on some music. But thank you guys so, so much. We appreciate you. And we did want to offer everyone in attendance access to our future workshops for a discount. So it's a one-time code where you can use community as the code for 30% off all of the remaining New Paradigm Digital Workshop series. So
Yay.
I hope I can use that too.
Hell yeah.
I'm so excited about those.
So good. Well, thank you so much, Natalia. We love you.
Thank you.
Post that information right here. But everyone have a beautiful Saturday, and we'll see you soon.
We love ya. Bye, guys.
I love you. Bye-bye.